بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's happening? Happy Friday. What's up? What did I just do? First order of business. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know we straight. Let me know, Lin. What's up? I see you in the chat. But let me get a mic check. Let me know I'm good to go on the audio side, please. Cool. I appreciate that. What's up, everybody? Everybody that's in the building, click the thumbs up button. Janine, what's happening? What's going on? Nikki Love 621. Clarity. What's up, Clarity? All right. Whoop. Chicken head. All right. So everybody, I'm starting to tell my age, man. You're like, what the yeah, that's some old stuff. Big Reg, what up, man? What's happening? Hey, Rose. Sankofa John, what's happening? All right, man. So let's go ahead and get this party started. This is not a long one. As with me, of course, there's a part 2 where we're gonna get into some alignments and kind of giving you the science of which I think, in my opinion, what you need to think about when you hear the term alignment. What constitutes alignment? Very, very, very important concept that we should have down versus that just being like a philosophical thing in a sense, right? So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It's Friday, you know what I mean? So I definitely have to say Salawah Hullah Muhammad and Sallallahu Alaihi Ali, you know what I mean? For sure, you know what I mean? I'm always big them up on Fridays simply because the opposition put some work in and had done a tremendous job in really trying to stamp out the information that's needed by going in on Fridays on my man Ali. I don't appreciate it. Just got to be real about it. All right. So today's conversation is the cosmic secret of the Jews or Jewish money, and how their practice is rooted in the deepest aspects of our observable universe, and definitely within our local galactic group of the galaxies that we are a part of. I'm not concerned about the basic things, which are they stick together and they spend their money with each other. So if they need a contractor, they go to the old school Rolodex and they look to see who is a Jewish contractor, and they are specifically and intentionally spending money amongst each other and creating community. I always say there in the city of Columbus, Ohio, there is a neighborhood called Bexley, and it is a rectangle. It's a rectangle in the middle of the city, and it is its own city within a city because they have their own mayor, They have their own. In fact, I'm about to show you. They got their own mayor, which means they got their own police department and whatnot. And obviously, that means that, you know, they may contract with the county. You know what I mean? Let me see. Chrome tab, Bexley. Boom. Pull this up. I ain't lying. Look at this. Watch this. This whole rectangle. On every side of the rectangle is the city of Columbus. So they just carved out a nice neighborhood and say this neighborhood is now our city. And we talking about mansions up in this joint too. You know what I'm saying? So you know, just phenomenal, really, how you can stick together and be so thorough, right? You can be so thorough, and we'll say thorough, but so thorough in your you know, in your unity, where you can carve out a neighborhood and literally make that separate from the city and become your own city, right? So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the cosmic practice. And that's to me, that's the important piece of the puzzle. All right. So before we do, let me backtrack a bit though. I want to make some connections on some things. One of the connections is because I'm gonna simultaneously be talking with the Muslims as well. So from the Hebrew side, historically, from what I gathered, okay, the language of Hebrew, right, is around 1200 to 200 BCE, whereas Arabic is attested from 100 CE. And they're both part of the Afro-Semitic language, known as Afro-Asiatic Semitic languages, right? So it also says the linguistic origins, Arabic and Hebrew are both members of the Semitic branch of the Afro-Asiatic family, right? Hebrew is part of the Canaanite subgroup of Northwest Semitic, while Arabic is part of Central Semitic, okay? The earliest Hebrew inscriptions date from 1000 to 900 BC, whereas Biblical Hebrew developed this standard between the 8th and 6th centuries BCE. And Old North Arabian inscriptions appear around 1st century BCE to 4th century. And obviously the Quran is in 7th century. And so they're part of the same language family. And this is important because I'm going to cross-reference some things. Both have lunar calendars. Both was in Moorish Spain, golden ages, and things like that. They're joined at the hip. They really are. They join at the hip, and you got to know how to see it, because in truth, honestly, it's just a few degrees of separation, for real, for real. All right, and I think what has happened is what the European, when he got involved in Judaism and Zionism and in this whole conflict that we seeing, that creates the problem. But if you were a true Jew and a true Muslim at the core, there would be no problem. Somebody got their hands in the game fucking with the politics, right? But anyway, we know how that goes. So let me bring this back up. If we go back in history, we see that the Islamic Golden Age is considered from the 700s to the 1500s. The Jewish Golden Age takes place within the Islamic Golden Age. This is a fact. The Jewish Golden Age takes place within the Islamic Golden Age. When we say the Moors were ruling, Islam was ruling, the Jews were reaching a golden age under Muslim leadership. Okay? All right. Now, history shows in 1492, the surrender of the Moors, January 2nd, 1492, right? The Moors surrender Spain, Granada, Spain, over to Ferdinand and Isabella, right? The Catholic monarchs. Yes, we know that. Many people don't know that a few months later, the Alhambra decree was passed and the Alhambra decree expelled the Jews. So wait a minute. About 3 months prior, the Moors, Islam surrenders to the Catholics. Catholics got control now. The church got control. And then within 3 months, almost 3 months exactly, the Jews get kicked out or under what's called the Alhambra decree. So the Muslims and the Jews, y'all got to go together. Both y'all get the fuck out of Spain. So we rolling together. Okay. All right. Boy, Satan is clever to pit you against each other now. So let's backtrack a bit so we can kind of understand the premise for me going into the cosmos with the Jewish calendar. Last week's episode, I had talked about the 4 winds of the cosmic origins of the spirit. I think it was last week or the week before. Okay. So let me blow this up. All right. And I had showed this calendar, which I have on my whiteboard. I am telling you now what we need to do, and I'm gonna prove it. We need to anchor in the 4 corners of the cosmos, meaning Cancer, Aries, Capricorn, Libra. They need to get anchored in. They're already anchored in to a degree. They're already anchored in by they start seasons. Yes, Cancer starts the summer, right? Then we have moving over, Aries starts the spring, Libra starts the fall, Capricorn starts the winter. And genuinely speaking, we say, hey, the spring equinox, the days and nights are even. 6 months later, the fall equinox, days and nights are even. Then summer solstice, sun is at its highest peak. Winter solstice, sun is at its lowest peak. So we have like these 4 seasons that's coming in, and these 4 celestial points, really 2 celestial points that roll in pairs, equinox and solstices. The question is, since that's the natural rhythm of the earth as it wobbles in space, as human beings and spiritual stewards of space, should we be anchoring in through prayer, Hajj, New Year's, things of that's really big within these 4 particular pockets? I'm of the opinion, yes, because you are to follow natural law, right? This is, as the Quran would say, the command of Allah flows through the heaven. Okay, then once you understand the natural flow, then you roll with it. The Quran says, listen, 12 months are considered, a year is considered 12 months, and 4 of them are sacred. Now, the current Islamic calendar they have 3 months going back to back as sacred, sacred, sacred. Okay, like the 10th, the 11th, the 12th month, if I'm not mistaken, or it's the 11th, 12th, and 1st month. I think it's the 11th, 12th, and 1st month, and then the 7th month they consider sacred. But right here in red, I'm telling you, these months do something that the other 8 don't do. Okay. All right. It's going to get interesting. All right. So remember these 4 points. Again, Aries, Capricorn, Libra, and Cancer. Okay. All right. So let's go to last week real quick. All right. Now, the verse in the Quran reads, by the winds that scatter a broadcast. That's a radio signal. And those that lift and bear away the heavy weights, and those that flow with ease and gentleness, and those that distribute in a portion by command. These are the 4 winds that's in the Bible. They pop up in the Quran this way. Okay. So we're going to start breaking some of them down. Hamal, the first wind, deals with transport, transportation, conveyance, pregnancy even. Okay. Yes, you see it. Let me stop moving my thing so I can see at the bottom. At the bottom, what do it say? Aries, ram. Wow. So to carry means literally Aries. Okay. A ram. All right. Funny. That's what I draw. A ram. Right. And so the second one where it says a load means gravity, right? The gravity of the situation. Okay. Gravity. Okay. So now we got Aries, we got gravity. And those sailing, what does those sailing mean? Those sailing is like a power line, a current, a stream, respiratory even, right? So now it's talking about some type of energy, current, right? Also means measures and proceedings at law. I said, now that's interesting, because when you start to deal with law, you start to deal with this zodiac sign right here called Libra. Didn't I say Aries, Libra, Cap? Yes. So then here go Libra. Okay. So wow. Right. So at the bottom, Libra in red. So then those distributing mean fate by God. I'm not going to get into that, but command. When we look at command, command here says governments. Also says soul, mind, and spirit, but government. And I said, oh, I'll be damned. I know what that is. Government is Capricorn. Yes. So the very first win was Aries. The second win had keywords of justice and proceedings at law, which was Libra. Yes. The last win, the fourth win, was Capricorn. Now, there's no galaxies in the area of Cancer, but that's what Sirius is, which is known as the throne. Okay. The great ancestral home way. When you sit in Cancer on the throne, you get to see everything else. In truth, this is if you know what you're looking at, this is really a Masonic lodge. The worshipful master sits in the east at Cancer, which is Sirius in this case. They say the sun rises in the east. Okay. And then we're looking at those three other signs. Okay. In red. But that's our station as we sit on the throne of God in this reality. We're sitting right there. So we can see these other three, basically these galaxy points, which are very important. And I'll get into. All right. So let's get into the cosmic secret of Jewish money real quick. The first thing is this: you have to understand, when you know that we are in the Virgo Supercluster, that includes Andromeda, that includes our Milky Way galaxy, which is our galaxy, of course, the Sagittarius Sporoidal galaxy. Sagittarius Sporoidal galaxy and our Milky Way galaxy came together to create us, our solar system. That's a fact. Then you have Miser 87, which is the largest galaxy inside of the Virgo supercluster that sits at Libra. Within the Virgo supercluster, there are approximately 47,000 galaxies. Okay? Within the Virgo supercluster. Okay? Now, go back to the whiteboard. We're going to circle Virgo is there and some of Libra is there. Inside of Libra, there is, it's not actually Libra. I'm going to show you where it's at. It's imagine seeing Virgo, but then you have to go down, okay? And in this declination. So it's below it, basically. So below Virgo Libra is something called the Shapely Supercluster. Mind you, in Libra, we have something called Miser 87, which is the biggest galaxy. The Shapely Supercluster. Read this. The Virgo Supercluster, which includes our local group in Milky Way, is indeed being pulled towards the Shapely Supercluster. Okay? Y'all got that? So there is a massive, so massive of a galaxy known as the Shapely Supercluster that it's pulling all 47,000 galaxies in the Virgo supercluster, that's where we at, towards it. Okay? I'm going to show you the beauty of God because I'm going to show you precisely what day this is and what happened in history to show the glory of God about it. Okay? All right? So our whole Virgo supercluster is being pulled in a direction known as Shapely. Okay? All right. Now, what a coinky dinky. Let's look at the next 9 to 10 years of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, head of the year. 26, that's Virgo. September 11th is Virgo. October the 1st, that's Libra. September the 20th is Virgo. September the 9th in 2029 is Virgo. September 27th in 2030, that's Libra. September 16th is Virgo. October the 4th is Libra. September 23rd is Libra. September the 12th is Virgo. September the 30th is Libra. Whoa. So every time Rosh Hashanah comes, they stay stuck in Virgo, Libra. Virgo, Libra, we are not leaving this zone. Y'all see that? But we just saw that the entire Virgo supercluster, which is our galaxy's name, okay, because all the cluster of galaxies sits within this particular region, is being pulled to its neighbor over in Libra, roughly, precisely, actually, 24 degrees Libra to be precise. Yes? So again, it's going here, right? So they nailing something, okay? And here's the thing, too. Let me look at you when I say this. Here's the thing. Do you know that the Jewish calendar, that's a civil calendar? The biblical New Year is actually not in Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the 7th month. It's not the 1st month. But for civil practices, how we going to engage in society, we're going to make this the 1st month of the civil year. But the biblical year is 6 months on the other side. Hence the 6-pointed star. When you understand the rotations of the heavens, don't worry, I'm going to show you that a little later because that's important. Okay? All right. So now let's look at Ramadan. Since we family, we come from the same Semitic origins. Our golden ages was the same. We used to be homies. There's a saying that a Jew will lead a kid with a Muslim to babysit and vice versa. 2025 Ramadan Pisces. February 18th is Aquarius. February 7th is Aquarius. January 27th is Aquarius. January 18th is Cap. 2030 December 8th is Sag. 2031 November 28th is Sag. 2032 November 17th is Scorpio. 2033 October 26th, that's Scorpio. 2034 October 15th, that's Libra. You all over the place. All over the place. You're not anchored in. You're not anchored in. You're not anchored in like your predecessor, your big homie. The Islamic big homie is the Jews. You just got to call it for what it is. Come on, man. You got to admit it. Come on, man. Oh, shit. This make them mad when I break it out. Oh, they get mad when I do it. Yo, the Islamic big homies are the Jews. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, in Islam, there's something called the 6 articles of faith, right? Some of them is you got to accept the holy books. You got to accept the prophets. Oh, snap. You only got one Arabic prophet. What are you talking about? You only got one Arab prophet, right? So that means Ibrahim, Dawood, David, Shalomah, or who we call Suleiman, Solomon, Aaron, Moshe, Moses, who we call Musa, huh? You have to support all of the Hebrew Jews, the Jewish prophets or Hebrew prophets, whatever you're comfortable with. You have to. It's in your book. These books, they mention these. Musa's name, Moses, is mentioned more than the prophet. Peace be upon them both. What are you talking about? So all your big homies in faith is from this school of thought, the 6-pointed star school of thought. Them your big homies. Admit it. So when we look at the calendar and we say, oh, what y'all doing? What are you doing? You're not anchored in nothing. It's proof right there. Okay? So anyway, so let's come back here. If we look at the date that had the longest range, meaning the furthest in the calendar, nothing supersedes October the 6th. So if you go up on the right side, you see October the 3rd, October the 2nd. October the 6th was the furthest range. I just wanted to highlight that because what's going on October the 6th? Boom, sun appears to be, although it's in Libra, we have to account for a tilt, which the program doesn't account for. And this is the difference between Western astrology and Vedic astrology. Okay. It looks like the sun is in Virgo, although it's Libra season. Okay. So remember, we are from the what? Virgo Supercluster, where it's home of 47,000 galaxies. Our galaxy is the Milky Way galaxy. But nevertheless, all the remaining 40-something thousand galaxies, we are all representing Virgo. All of us. That's our hood, right? Virgo is our, that's what we claim. Okay. As a galaxy. Okay. So here it is. The sun appears here when it's Rosh Hashanah. Very interesting. Okay. Now, what is Virgo? The perfectionist, analytical, detail-oriented, diligent, and practical. Let's get down to the 6th house in astrology, which is the Virgo house. Health, work, service, daily routines. Work. Don't you usually work for what? Money. Yes? What's the exchange for your work? Money. Huh. So we live in a place where all these galaxies is pretty much centered on the Virgo supercluster of galaxies. And then when the sun is in this region and when that moon aligns with the sun, we say it's Rosh Hashanah when this is taking place in front of the Virgo constellation. And this is when we start our civil year, which is basically a work calendar and not a religious calendar. It's a work calendar. You see what's taking place here? Dialed in to the galaxies. Okay. All right. But the real secret sauce, I keep saying it. The secret sauce is in the Jewish tradition. It is the woman who lights the Friday tonight, 18 minutes before sunset. She lights the candles. The woman do, not the guy. Why? Let's blow this up. In Judaism, Shekinah refers to the divine presence of God, particularly how it manifests and dwells among humans. It is often described as the what? Feminine aspect or a visible manifestation of God's glory. Whoa. So the woman is the embodiment of the physical manifestation of God's glory. That ain't rocket science. You put sperm in there, a baby will come out of there. This is classic yin yang. This is elementary stuff, actually, right? So they're just aligning up the the basic building blocks of reality. And then saying, nah, babe, you light the candles because you represent the manifestation. I'm the idea. This is the seed. You are the fertilizer. You are the garden. Oh, Oh, give you a different look at the garden. You, the garden, right? But you know what we do in Islam? You know, and I got mixed feelings about this, so I ain't gonna even go hard on this. The woman's in the back. She ain't lighting no candles. They don't even light candles in Islam like that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't a part of nothing. You know what I mean? And so how is it that your big homie got his girl lighting the candles and saying she's the manifestation of God's glory? And your woman in the back. I got mixed feelings about this. Because on one side, I can see how it would be necessary, and I hate to say it, but I believe it's my opinion, and this is how I see it, is in the West, women are not necessarily taught how to fall back and trust in a man's leadership. And I'm not saying he shouldn't, you know, he of course he has to have certain qualities, but the fact remains, it's a little discord there. And so now, by, for lack of a better word, subjugating a woman to the back and the man leading, and it's just a play on yin yang energy and understanding that yang is the active principle that will initiate first and yin recedes. It helps reshape and discipline and remold and clean up the internal aspect of these issues that we have and how we see the gender and whatnot, and then how we come together as the classic nation of Islam type of thing, right? But it really should be, in my opinion, side by side like it was in, you know, the African cultures. What no, get behind me. You know what I mean? So let's go into this calendar, Jewish calendar. Put your attention on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Rosh Hashanah, the 23rd and 24th, rather. Also pay attention to Yom Kippur, which is going to come at the bottom of the screen, the 1st and the 2nd. Okay? All right. Well, what do we have here? When it is Rosh Hashanah, where's the moon? The moon is right there by the hand of the Virgin. Yes? Okay. Now, Yom Kippur. We saw Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Yes, we saw that come a week after the head of the year. And so in the Jewish culture, what they do is say, hey, we just had a new year. The next week, for a 24-hour period, you are going to spend the entire day reflecting on your previous fuck ups, and you're going to make atonement for that before you get this year started. Beautiful thing. In the West, we just like New Year resolution. We ain't addressing shit. They're going to keep on going. Hope it turn out better than next year. We ain't addressing nothing. Ain't no atonement. So in their system that you just saw, when the sun and moon come together, we call that the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are coming together. That's important. So when that comes together a week later, now the moon is actually in the growing phase, if you know how that works. Then we say, hey, we got to do a day of atonement. Okay. Now, in Islam, we got something that's better than the Day of Atonement. Every single day, you can do astaghfirullah, right? A simple word that can erase thousands of sins in a second. So as I'm sharing with you, and I'm telling you that it's quite selfish for us to want to receive all the time without addressing aspects of ourselves that, you know, that need some type of cleaning up. So the astaghfirullah said a certain number of times is absolutely powerful, and it deals with light, making yourself lighter, right? Making yourself lighter. So you address that first, then you move on to the realm of the blessings and things of that nature. Okay. So this is a known thing inside of the zikr circles, for sure, amongst the Sufis. It's really astaghfirullah first. For real, astaghfirullah first. That's first. Then start moving into some other things. Okay. So let me show you where shapely is at. Y'all see that? This is where shapely is at. So it's in the same vertical space as Virgo Libra, but come down some. Okay. So it's in that region of space. And it's precisely October the 17th. 1017 Brick Squad. It's Gucci. 1017. Okay. The precise date is 1017. Which the sun, if you're paying attention, is in front of the star Spica, which plays an important part on the design of Washington, D.C. by Benjamin Banneker. Spica, Arcturus, and Regulus. Okay? Forms a triangle. And Spica would be a representative of the Washington Monument that's pointing up to the heavens, known as the Federal Triangle. What did Benjamin Banneker know about creating this triangle? Because if you go above, if you go straight up the screen where the sun is and go up, you run into Arcturus. And to the right, where Leo is, the star at his front paw, that's Regulus. That forms a right angle triangle. What did Benjamin Banneker, the black astronomer, what did he know about this region of space? So when you then cross-reference this information with the Galactic Federation of Light, they'll tell you that there's a group of beings known as the Arcturians who are on the healing side, and they too send telepathic vibratory waves to those that get in tune with the energy on the healing component. Well, you're in straight alignment with Virgo, which is the healer. So the frequency has to be that. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, the whole gravitational pull of where we're going is right in this region. We can pinpoint the day. Again, it's 1017. Now I'm looking at God and I'm like, man, what are you serious? Because 1017 is my daughter's birthday. Right? So I'm like, man, what a coincidence. But look what happened in space. This is how you know what God is talking about. What happened October 16th? Same pocket of space. That was the Million Man March. Million men, one God. Are you getting this? You get what I'm saying? So out of all the days the minister could have picked, he just so happened to pick the day that is the closest in alignment with the direction in which the entire freaking galaxy, Milky Way, not Milky Way galaxy, the whole Virgo supercluster of galaxies is going in that direction. So then the question is, do you think that God would not know this? That would be my question. Why are the Jewish people all of a sudden just lining things up right here for some strange reason? Then the minister comes and puts it right here. And what did he call it? This was known as the Day of Atonement. Oh, that's Rosh. That's Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur. Because when you atone in this region of space, Virgo deals with health. This is where the healing takes place. That and Scorpio, but the healing takes place here. Yes? All right. That's why on the Patreon, Because Virgo kicks in today at 4:30, about 4:34 p.m. Eastern. So in a couple hours, the sun is in Leo right now, last degrees of Leo. In a couple hours, the sun technically about to move into Virgo. But we can start tomorrow. That's fine. So we got a 30-day journey ahead of us where we have to cleanse the intestines because Virgo rules the intestines. So that's going to be juicing and fruits to the best of your ability. Coming in the chat, in the Patreon chat, in the health chats. Day 1, I'm on it. Day 2, day 3, they simply just say the day you want it. You're doing your best that you can do for that day. Right? I'm like, nigga, you done it again. You done stuck your foot in your mouth again, nigga. I just had a lamb burger yesterday. What are you talking about? 30 days, no meat and all that stuff. But it's that time of the year. Historically speaking, I always say, because it's the truth, when I would get a colonics done, I always waited to Virgo season to go into the intestines. So when I'm dealing with health, I'm absolutely playing by the laws of the motion of the heavens. Okay. As with we seeing big things happening in the world. This was like the biggest event ever. You know what I mean? So this happened when we were in alignment with where we're going. All right. So let me give a quick little bit of just a little search on Ramadan. They say Ramadan happened in the Gregorian calendar in March because they use what's called the Battle of Badr, Badr. They say that's widely dated as March the 13th. So they pushing Ramadan in like February, March, right? I said, now that's interesting. Because if you push Ramadan in February, March, you know what an Earth would be? Let's say March. March, we start to move into Aries season. That means the Earth is in Libra. February, March, Pisces, Aries. Pisces, the Earth is in Virgo. Aries, the Earth is in front of Libra. So if Ramadan did occur in Pisces, Aries frequency, that puts the Earth exactly in alignment with what? Our whole entire supercluster, Virgo supercluster, remember? Miser 87, the biggest observable galaxy inside of our local group. And the Shapely supercluster in which everyone is going to. Everyone. All 47,000 galaxies is moving to Shapely, aka 24 degrees Libra. But the Earth would be in this region if that is correct, if Ramadan was in the Pisces Aries region. And that's why I said earlier, we are to anchor in the 4 points of the cosmos. So if the Jews are anchoring in Virgo Libra, that means the Earth is over there at the top, Pisces Aries. Then 6 months later, they go to 6-pointed star. 6 months later, when it's Pisces Aries season, the Earth is now over here, and then the Islamic side is anchoring in that side of the cosmos. You get where I'm going? So we're supposed to be anchoring in these points. Okay? All right. So now I just got this up here to mess with your mind. Let's talk about how you are always in alignment. Okay? All right. So we know that we're about to move into Virgo season. Okay. So what I'm gonna do at this point is I'm gonna come off of this screen. Let me, where I'm at here. Hold on. Let me come off of that. I want to come off of this. I'm gonna come off that screen. And I want to share a PowerPoint with you. Where is that at? It's on presentation. All right. And hopefully you can see it. So bear with me here. Share screen. I'm just going to share my entire screen. Let me click audio. Boop. And I want to come here to this presentation here. Let me hide this. So if we are in Virgo season, remember the Earth technically just got here in Pisces, okay? Because then it gives the illusion that the sun in the middle is directly in front of Virgo, okay? Now, here is Sirius, the blue star over here in Cancer that sits about 10 degrees Cancer, okay? Now, anytime we say that alignment, when you're in a circle, you're always in alignment. The question is, what angular alignment are we talking about? Because it's geometry at this point. Okay. Now, let's just measure the sun. So let me see if I can let me draw real quick. So let's just measure the sun. We're saying the sun is right here because we just got to Virgo season at 4:30 today. Again, the Earth is over here. Now, what we do is we come to Virgo center point here, and then we will say, all right, Sirius is here about 10 Cancer, okay? So let's just use simple math. Each zodiac sign is 30 degrees away. So Cancer, so now let's just move to Leo is 30, Virgo is 60. So that's about, if we're using simple math, this would be a 60-degree angle, okay? So when we say, hey, we in alignment, then in alignment to what? What's in alignment? Because we're always in alignment to something. We're in the circle. It's all geometry. Everything's connected. So now we have to talk about what is the angular alignment. Okay? You with me? All right. So now let's take that away real quick. And then let's go to Lion's Gate. So we say Lion's Gate is about 8:8. Okay? The Earth is in Aquarius when that happens. The sun is about 16 degrees Leo. Okay? So that will be, where's my draw pen at? Let me see. Ooh, come on, man. I don't want to go that big. The sun is about 16 degrees Leo. It's here. Okay? All of these will be days to fill up Leo. So it's about here. So 16 Leo. So you got 16 Leo, and Sirius is about 10 degrees Cancer. Okay? So they're one sign away. Again, just want to round off. Let's just say if Sirius was 16 degrees and the sun was 16 degrees, that's a perfect 30-degree angle. So now we have to prove, Lion's Gate, we have to prove, well, why is it that this 30-degree angle is opening up a portal of some sort? So we say, you get where I'm going with this? Okay. So now let's get rid of that. Yes. And let's come to one of my favorites, which I showed you on 7-2, 7-3, 7-4. It gets busy. So on 7-2, the sun appears perfectly in front of Sirius. Yes. So we take our little draw point, the sun. Hey, can I draw? What's going on, man? Let me draw. Hey, I want to draw. Oh, you won't let me draw, man. All right. So the sun point, perfect straight line. From our view, especially to our viewpoint, perfect straight line. Boom. So we say, oh shit, this is a perfect straight alignment. Locked on. We ain't got to turn nothing, ain't got to do nothing. It's a perfect straight line. This constitutes an alignment. So it's all about angles. 100% about angles. Okay? So we have to just be able to really prove the angle. And I think for the most part, the angles that we're looking for are the straight lines. the ones where things are perfectly aligned, as they say. We call them conjunctions in astrology. Okay, two things are in a straight line. Okay, and so 6 months later, right, when it's New Year's, bing, the Earth is right here. The Earth is in Cancer. Sun look like it's in front of Capricorn season January 1st, and the Earth is perfectly in alignment with Sirius. So then we say, hey, that's another straight line. Yes. If I can pull out the draw thing again. Yeah. Anyway, you get my point. So that's another straight line from Sirius to the Earth. Yes. In about 3 months from there, yeah. Now we say, hey, and our reality, what's happening is the sun, okay, because then it's, let's say it's Aries season. Yes, it's Aries, but this is Cancer. So that's 3 signs away. That's 90-degree angle. So I definitely got to draw that. You got to let me draw that. Let me stop playing. Can I draw? I'm just going to draw with this since it let me. Let me come back with this. All right. So what I'm saying is Sirius is here. Boom. But the sun looks like it's in front of Aries from our viewpoint. So now the sun squares Sirius at this particular point. And although in alignment, squares are really a misalignment in our reality. They cause problems. And you can tell why they cause problems. One is horizontal, one is vertical. That is the true opposition because we're not even on the same plane. At least horizontal, we run across each other or run into each other. But shit, here, this is going to be a T-bone. I'm on the vertical, you on the horizontal. So that's called a square. So that's an alignment. So as the Earth is always moving, guess what? It's always in a straight line to the sun. Yes. But as the Earth moves, in a sense, if we're looking at another fixed point, then obviously the angle is moving as well. So let's just hypothetically come over here, move the Earth over 1. Can we do that? To Scorpio, this line here now changes to Taurus. You with me? It changes to Taurus. Yes. And then when the Earth comes to Sagittarius, this line now looks like, hey, the sun rather, is in front of Gemini. Yes. That's what happens, right? And then when we move back to Capricorn, there's that straight line we was looking for. Okay. All right. So what am I saying? I am saying you are always in alignment. The question is, what alignment? What is the angle? Let's be specific. What is the angle that produces this? So when I hear like on Lionsgate and say, well, we're in alignment with Sirius, no, are we in a straight? We're always in alignment, but are we in a straight line? No, we're not in a straight line to Sirius on 8-8. That occurs on 7-2. What is happening around 8-8 is we're coming around the corner, and Sirius is just now starting to become visible in the morning. And then the sun comes up right after Sirius comes up. So that's starting to occur at that time. So it's the return of Sirius. We can say that. Okay. But we just need to know specifically. Because see, this is what I'm saying. When you talking and you really don't know what you're talking about, then it can almost be like, what the hell are you talking about? It's pseudo almost. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer we should be able to prove what we say. Big time. You know what I'm saying? Big time. We should be able to prove what we say. So I just want to give y'all that we always in alignment because we always in a circle. The question is, okay, what geometrical angle are we talking about to say the alignment? And oftentimes, again, it's always a straight line. Okay. All right. So any questions? Sankofa John said, makes me ponder the deacons. The deacons are real. The deacons, me and Jude was just having a conversation about this the other day. the whole entire zodiac. Here's the zodiac hierarchy. There's an archangel of a zodiac sign and planet, but let's deal with the zodiac sign. Then you have his lieutenant, which is the angel of the sign. And then each sign is broken down into 3 decadents of 10 degrees, 10, 20, 30. But it's 0 through 9, 10 through 19, 20 through 29. That makes up 10 degrees. The zodiac does not start at 1 degree. It starts at 0. So therefore, 0 through 9 is 10 degrees. Okay? So then you have a sergeant angel that's in control of, hey, these are my 10. So these 3 angels say, hey, I'm in control of 0 through 9. This one says, hey, I got 10 through 19. The other one say, hey, I'm going to govern 20 through 29. Okay? Then that sergeant has like a chief of staff, in a sense, up under him and says, hey, I need somebody to govern 0 through 4. And I need another person to govern 5 through 9. So the decadent, which is 10 degrees, is broken up into a quintessence of 5 degrees. So from the bottom to the top is an angel who rules the 5 degrees. Then you're going to have the angel who rules the 10-degree decadent. Then he's going to report to the angel who rules the actual sign. And he's going to report to the archangel who rules the sign. And so me and Jew was talking about Mars again, and he like, no. I'm going to the big boss. I mean, I'm going straight to the archangel. I ain't got time to deal with these niggas. I'm going straight to the archangel. Okay. So the zodiac is broken down, and here's the kicker. That's in the Kabbalistic Hebrew school. All right. That's in the Hebrew school where that's at. All right. But it absolutely can be broken. It is broken down. All right. It's broken down that way. So anybody got any questions? Any questions? Yeah, man. I'm with you. Who is that? Kareem. A lot of chlorophyll detox juices this time. It's Virgo season. Today the last day. I don't know how I'm gonna go out, man. I've been banging some teriyaki chicken tacos with some grilled pineapple on the grill. Oh man. Then my daughter made this banging ass blueberry lemonade cake. Gotta say goodbye to that too. Today the last day. So I'm going out. I think I'm going out that way. I'm going out with a bang. I'm going out with a bang, and then it's all juices for the big boy. You know, but it's gonna be a beautiful process. And I'm gonna challenge myself to bring my hookah coals. I gotta bring my hookah coals here because if I'm at the house, I'm gonna smoke. So instead of smoking, I'm gonna use that time to go ahead and zikr. Even though sometimes I'll be doing both at the same time and whatnot, but I'm gonna go deep with it. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. But any questions on anything we saw? All right. I got a new piece coming. Man, I want to show y'all a piece of it, but let me see if I can pull it up. I got where would it be? Oh, I can't pull it on that screen because I'm on incognito. I wonder, let me see something. Probably ain't gonna let me in since I'm on the incognito window over here. Let me see. Well, yeah, I thought so. It won't let me in over here. But yeah, working on a new ebook project. Pretty super dope. It's called Shaitan Will He Will Make You Forget, and then the Secret Weapon of Time and whatnot. And just going in on this whole concept of the aspect of our consciousness that's forgetfulness, but also where in the Quran it's talked about Joseph was supposed to mention God's name, and he forgot. Therefore, he stayed in prison. And then at that point, a couple more years, that meant time is now used as a weapon. And you know what happens when you're late for something? It starts a chain reaction of negative events. You know what I'm saying? So time is a very important thing and whatnot. And so I'm going in it and showing, what's the metaphysics of it and that aspect, and then the different states of consciousness that's associated with it. So it's actually a pretty dope piece. And then I'm going back in the Quran and going back into Islam and actually going back to this calendar thing and, just kind of really straighten that. You got to straighten that out, man. And at least my thing is the people who are rolling with me, what we doing. You know what I'm saying? You know what we doing. You know what I mean? Like, again, Virgo season. Why are you doing this at Virgos? Because it represents a time to cleanse. And we about to get busy next week because Venus is in Leo, and that's important. That is it, man. That placement there is man, that's majorly important. That's majorly important. So we about to get busy with that. And those of y'all with Jew, keep that pink candle. Is all I can tell you. So the love frequency is about to gets created at this time and whatnot. So we got about 25 days of a 25-day practice that's in sync with the cosmos. So every time certain things shift in the heavens, there's a main thing we're doing. I call it activating the galactic light body, because all of these things, Aries is the head, Taurus the throat, all the way to Pisces the feet, all of this stuff is in us anyway. You see what I'm saying? So, that's what it is. Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that Ramadan is in September. It's not. Ramadan is like in February again this year. Not this year. I originally heard it was in the original Ramadan was in September, originally around the fall equinox. But I'm getting mixed things. You know what I mean? Now I'm hearing Aries and whatnot. So, all right, Sankofa John, where will Ophiuchus be, not as a 13th sign, but as a demarcation line stretched across a circle? Ophiuchus obviously sits in between Scorpio and Sag, and it sits above the ecliptic. So let me show you what it looks like. And in Egypt, this is the boat of Ra. And I'm gonna show you why Ophiuchus he's not necessarily in the zodiac belt, because he sits above it. In truth, Ophiuchus is actually the polar opposite of Orion's belt. Okay, so that's a great question, man. Let me do this real quick. Let me minimize a lot of stuff, and then let me come back and let me share my screen. And we'll load that up, share entire screen, and we can look at that together in real time. Hopefully we don't have no the beautiful holy city, YouTube. All right, so let me hide this out the way. I kind of like to go in the dark. Let's go dark. Again, we can see this around October. Want to light up some constellations for them, sir. Right, that's cool. Okay. Boom. Yes. Zoom out for them. There, Ophiuchus. Now I'm gonna throw in the zodiac belt ecliptic line. That's the meridian line. Here goes the ecliptic line. Let me get rid of the meridian line. All right, cool. So now you see, and I can actually get rid of, what is that? This here. Let me get rid of that. Yeah. All right. So what you're seeing is the constellation Ophiuchus, as you see, sits north of the zodiac belt. So that's why we say, no, he's not in the zodiac belt. He's not the 13th sign. Okay. Because he sits above. So you have a right to say what these things look like, ladies and gentlemen. If we get rid of the art and we say, hey, that looked like a man carrying a boat. The Egyptian said carrying a snake. The Egyptian said, no, this is a boat with a snake head on it, as like this beautiful statue type of thing, known as the boat of Ra. So you got a right to call these things what you want to call them. How it looks to you is how it looks to you. Okay. So Ophiuchus is there. And so, for example, if we look at this star, probably one of the brightest stars in Ophiuchus, notice its right ascension, RA, Radek, in the J2000 is 1700 hours, 34 minutes. So that's like what? 17 minus 12 is 5. So that's like 5 p.m. Yes? It's 5:34 p.m. 5. Okay? So now if we want to go to the opposite side, yes, so we have to go to 5:34 a.m. Okay, so let's take the sun and let's just have this dude travel back till you get to around 5:34. 5, he's at 6:05. Boom, right? 5:34, right up in here. So on 6:15, bam, the sun looked like it's what? Above Orion. That's why I told you Ophiuchus is really the counterbalance and opposite to Orion. But Orion sits below the ecliptic, whereas Ophiuchus sits above the ecliptic. Okay. So that region of time, what we call Scorpio Sag time, that's the region of time where, the space where either the sun could be there that time of year. Obviously, the sun is there, or whatever else that you're using, moon, Mars, whatever the case that you're using, something is there, then hey, it's there. You can do your Ophiuchus thing, whatever that may be. All right. So that's what that is, man. Let me come back. Stop sharing my screen. And where we at? All right. Yeah. 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 All right. Big Sky is I'm a Virgo rising Sag, and I always feel a sense of power and change around this time of year. In fact, a lot of my life accomplishments have happened this time of year. Right. It's a homecoming. Big Sky Comedy TV. It's a homecoming. Literally. So, because what you're really saying is, the earth is coming back into the same space where it was when you were born. So this is naturally home to your spirit and your soul. See, this whole thing is about cosmic perception. You do things this way, right? That's what determines compatibility. Relationships is about. I like the way you do this, right? So how we see things is 100% predicated upon the area space where we were. And so I'm from this side of the, you from this side of the cosmos. We look past each other when we look out. My neighbors and what I'm comfortable with, this is unfamiliar to you because you fried. You see what I'm saying? So the cosmos be set tripping like a mug. For real, for real. For real. That you understand the square point is where it says, hey, you have now entered. This is the border. Soon as you go past me, you in a foreign land because you're on the other side of the cosmos now. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of, in relationships, I'm a fan of the 60-degree angle. The air and fire, water and earth. They always gonna be like that. The 60-degree angles. Because see, let me tell you something, man. Do you know in this reality, Venus is the planet that deals with relationships and love. You will never see Venus in opposition to the sun. Meaning when the sun sets in the west, Venus is coming up in your reality in the east, because Venus is always to the left or to the right of, let me close this thing over here, because all of a sudden I'm starting to freeze. Venus right of the sun and always to the left of the sun. Always. So if Venus is always to the right of the sun or the left of the sun, that means when the sun goes down, either Venus went down already when it's to the right of the sun, or if Venus is to the left of the sun, when the sun go down, Venus, we can see in the evening sky, and she's about to go down after it. It will never be coming up in the eastern sky as the sun went down, because Venus has to travel around the sun. Yes. So since it's one planet closer to us, I mean, to the sun than us, then that means as it's somewhere around the sun right now. We can just go outside, have some cool, we're going to see Venus somewhere in the vicinity around that sun. So I'm saying that to say, when you meet somebody, Venus is never at a square day Venus, impossibility in your earthly reality. You will never see such a thing. Venus is on the south while the sun is on the west. An impossibility. See, that's what I'm saying. So the cosmos, but when it comes to certain things, it wants to play home court. Now, it don't mean that you can't ever be in a successful relationship with somebody. It don't mean that. But I'm just saying. It's like, hey. These things, these are laws down here. There is no such thing as a Venus opposition. So I got Venus in Aries. So to meet a Libra, her sun, as a Libra sun, gonna be in opposition to my feminine principle Venus. So will I probably do good with a Libra? I don't know. I'm an air sign. I got some other things that can support that, but let's just deal with that principle in itself. Like that's an astronomical impossibility. You know what I'm saying? So you're from the other side. And so when you're from the other side, in the way that the planets roll, because Venus is always close to the sun. So now let's say a Libra whose sun, Libra sun, is in opposition to my Venus, somewhere by Libra, because their sun is in Libra. Let's just say their Venus happened to be in Scorpio. Oh, shit. I got Mars, Moon, Mercury, and Sun in Aquarius. Scorpio to Aquarius is a square. So let's just deal with Mars. Mars is the physical, passionate, masculine aspect of a man's psychology. But her feminine principle, Venus in Scorpio, that ain't clicking with my Mars. That's a square. And her sun in opposition to my Venus. You see where I'm going with this? So when you're from the other side of the cosmos, the energies, like, they start to be incompatible. You don't see life the same. You know what I'm saying? So the things we need to know. All right. So I'm gonna keep it rolling, man. I got to do astro reports. It's that time of the month where if y'all see, I shouldn't say that it never happens. Like, but if for some reason you happen to see on the tier where they get the astro reports, and they've been waiting for over a year to get in, they never come available. But, I'm available, man. You can always ask me questions, and especially in the Patreon. Inbox me in the Patreon. I don't necessarily have any. I didn't get to it today, but I don't have nothing in the inbox that I'm not reading, you know what I mean, and replying to in the Patreon. So feel free to absolutely hit me up. Okay. All right, man. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. What prayer we gonna end with? We're going to do an outro prayer. Man, you're going to hop into that little prosperity prayer. Hey, I don't see it back here. Oh, man. Okay. Hold on, y'all. Here we go. All right. We'll do it with this, and we out of here.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر